So we're 1 minute past, and I think it's good time to start. And we'll start with a short introduction. So the reason I wanted to, I'll basically share the reasons for the webinar. It's the first time we're hosting something like that. We previously had more webinars focused around how to use EzyInsights, but then one thing that I keep hearing more and more from the people that we work with is basically people asking how do others work with the tool, and how do others work in general in their profession, because it's mostly social media managers, community managers, audience development managers, and journalists who use us. And then because a lot of the people come from different countries, you can really share the knowledge. So I really appreciate Patricia agreeing.
Thank you.
And Patricia, of course, comes from Finnish public service broadcaster, the biggest media house in Finland, the biggest broadcaster. And I'm going to leave it to you to tell a bit more about your role and YLE as well.
Yes, thank you. So my name is Patricia Tiihonen. I've been working in this role for 5 years now. And when I came to the news and current affairs, I also have or had sports. We have a little bit new organizations here now, but I work also very close with the whole YLE. But my main page or brand is news, which is Uutiset in Finnish. And when I came here 5 years ago, people didn't really know much about Facebook. Instagram wasn't there. You know, it was going on, but people didn't use it. It was like TikTok is now, should we go, shouldn't we go? No, well, leave the TikTok. I don't think big brands should go there because it's for younger audience. But I just reserved the URL so that we had the YLE Uutiset there. And then we start to just talk about social media, like we talk about radio, we talk about TV, we talk about articles on the internet and our own applications. But what about those people who don't use our content, like organically, or we don't exist for mainly younger people. So then we started to just brand it inside the house, like there is social media. And nowadays we have really been clear on social media isn't equal social media, because it's Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Reddit, Yodel, TikTok. They are completely different, and the content also must be different. And that's where we started to think, well, what does it take? It takes efforts. It takes working hours. It takes people who take care of that. It's not something you just throw there because you have it like a trailer on TV or just links to news. Because, for instance, Instagram, which is really interesting, you can't just put there a lot of links with the content you already have. You have to create it in some other way to make it interesting on Instagram. So that's what I've been working with 5 years. And I also have all the other like brands and pages in my organization, which means that I have 38 pages on Facebook, all the regional, the morning show, we have evening shows, sports. So that means 38. And then I also help the whole YLE, which ends it up to 99 pages on Facebook. And I don't know how many on Instagram because I stopped counting. But as I said, the biggest one is YLE News in Finnish.
Yeah.
Of course, we have YLE News in English. We have YLE Novosti, Novosti YLE. We have Easy Finnish, which is mainly for
immigrants.
People, immigrants. Yes, and sometimes you want to take it slower and more explain. They also use social media and also on sign language.
Right. Yeah. I'm sure if there are some questions from the participants about how you manage to work with all of those accounts, do write them in the Q&A.
Yes.
And I think we're going to start now with taking some of the questions, because we got some questions beforehand, and we're going to start with the first set, which is how to increase Instagram engagement. How many posts per day or per week is enough in Instagram?
That's a good question. I would back it up a little bit with saying, what is your goal with Instagram? What kind of account you have? What is the main purpose? Who do you want to reach? What is it that you want to achieve with your like account profile? Then you can start doing engagement with the audience that you are targeted very well. We, for instance, we don't think about very old people. Sorry, I'm old. I'm too old to even talk about YLE uutiset Instagram, because we think about a woman living near Helsinki, the capital of Finland, and she's about 20 plus.
So you have a persona in mind.
We have a persona. We have targeted pretty close, and we find it sometimes hard to even find content to use on Instagram, because we have to put them in a new like visual appearance on Instagram. We have to use it like you use Instagram. So sometimes the pictures, if it's an article, which is good, but there's no pictures like what you used to see on Instagram, then we have to find out some other ways to promote it. But we also, for instance, we use our correspondence in Beijing, and now it's something going on in Barcelona. So we have a person there who is able to use Instagram, and we couch them to use like stories. So it's from the editor directly on the scene.
So is it like does it work like an account takeover? They kind of take it over for that time, or
for one story?
Oh, okay, yeah.
For one story. So we really and for tell you the truth, there's no live. It comes through our social media desk. I must tell you that I have 3 colleagues, social media editors, who are doing all this work with putting up everything, and I'm just helping them with all the tools and a little bit in moderation on Facebook and Instagram, because we get like 16,000 comments a week.
Wow.
and quite a lot of hot topics. So we try to be good in moderation, so that people can feel that they can comment, so that it's a safe environment.
Yeah. When you mentioned that you coach people, your foreign correspondents, how to present a story, can you tell a bit more about that?
Yes, of course. We look at their own Instagram account. We see a lot from there. If it's a person who says, well, yes, I can take a video having my camera up, that's not enough. You should know how to talk and how to be like very natural, like Instagram, because all our journalists, of course, they know how to stand in front of TV cameras and doing their things, but it's quite different on Instagram. So we have been working a lot with columnists and certain people, and there is something new. We have a new concept coming up, so we can just sit and continue doing what we're doing now. We have to develop new things. And I also must mention that we have a graphic design on the feed posts and also on the stories. So if Anna would be so kind, you can show a little bit how it shows.
Yeah, we can take a look so that our audience can also have a good idea of what your Instagram looks like.
So this is the page. This is really the biggest news media page in Finland. And as you can see, we have pictures, and the corners are round. That's something that we have. And then we have this on pictures. We can have a little bit of something that someone has said, something the picture is enough. That means social media went wild of Finnish President Niinistö.
That was a big
and the topics or the content is we really try to think about a younger audience, but the guys down there, if you look at those old, the first ones who got married, I don't know, remember which country it was. If you click it up, you can click it up, because that's another thing we do in Denmark. Another thing we do, we tell quite a lot about the news. And of course we have link in bio, so they can go and read the whole story. But we think that Instagram is such a media, you don't want to go anywhere else. I want to stay on Instagram. So to click is really, really good if you do that. Then the story or the presentation on Instagram is a success.
Right.
And we get traffic from Instagram through. We have, you can show if you want to. We have this link in bio. And we are not using a third party link. YLE FI. If you click there, you get all the stories on our platform in the format. And we have like a keyword that is social media content. So you can go here, and if you are interested, you might find something else, which is for all the companies. We want people to stay on our pages.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. So how often do you post on Instagram?
We post like 40 to 50, 60 stories or frames a week. I think it's stories. 54 was last week. And like 1 or 2 feed albums a day. But
so
we don't do it just because of the amount of it. We do it with, you have to have good content,
right?
Like a good picture, a little bit of good story, and for this a little bit different audience. This is not mainly for the whole Finland. We think about this plus 20 something.
Yeah. How long does it take you to compile a post like this, or to create stories?
It can take a long time, because you have to find the right pictures. Then we use Premiere. So if it's a picture on stories, then if it's just one pic, we edit on Premiere, so it fades out, fades in, or something like that. Takes a little bit longer, so you'll be able to read if we have a text.
Yeah. All right.
If you want to show, you can show the latest one from there.
The latest story? Yeah, let's take a look. Okay.
Netflix got some.
So if I click see more, you link to the article there. Yeah, great.
Of course, in stories we do that.
Yeah.
Almost every time. Sometimes it's something that we have, because you have this question also, I saw, about interaction. Yeah. And sometimes there is something that we are just asking on Instagram. Free form that you can fill in, or just a mood bar or something.
All right, yeah. I like this one. Yeah,
like, what do you think? Will Finland win?
So these are 5 different stories, 5 different news stories.
Sometimes it can be like 3 frames on one thing, or sometimes it's completely different, but we try not to make it like too much away from each other.
Yeah. What do you use to track the effectiveness of your Instagram strategy?
Well, my social media editors, they love just the native. They go by phone, and we have our meetings that we look at the phone. We don't use the browser. But we have metrics that comes from our analytics department, and we use Falcon Social, which is our social media tool. We get quite good reports from there, and the stories are longer stored on Falcon, so you can look back a longer time, and you see the clicks from stories and otherwise. So we combine a lot of metrics, really.
Yeah. Thanks. Let's take another question in the meantime, which is related to this earlier. What's the best way to analyze the statistics of my Instagram and Facebook account. So you touched a bit on the Instagram.
Of course you have to, I think you have to have a goal, you know, knowing what you want with your page. It's so different on Instagram and Facebook. Facebook is for us a really mass account. We put almost everything there. And we use EzyInsights. If not to anything else, we have the traffic light, which we love.
Okay.
Because it's very busy work, sitting at the news desk and managing Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, because we read comments and mentions on all platforms. And as I said, we have 16,000 comments a week.
That's incredible that you can process that much. I mean, you're using some tool for that?
Yes, Falcon Social.
Itself for Falcon.
Yes,
okay.
Yes. We flag it like really difficult topics, and then we try to go through the other ones, and we use profanity filters and things like that. We have to, because we are, you know, we are not commercial, and we have a lot of values, and we value humans, and we try to be very open, but you know, hate speech, freedom of speech, it's not the same. So we put a lot of effort in that. And we have the traffic lights visible also on sports, so that it's a reminder to the, because there's no social media editors there. There's just, you know, it's not just a journalist who does text TV, teletext, which is really popular in Finland for sports at least. They do articles on sport pages, and they do social media at the same time.
That's a lot on top of writing stories. Yeah. So do they use it mostly to know like when to post, when not to post?
Yes, and of course they have this site open, who is performing best in Finland. It's if it's a little bit of a game, who's doing best, you know, you get satisfaction out of okay, it was worth doing that. And we analyze how we post the posting texts for instance on Facebook, even if it's like a mass. We have 250 articles going out every week on Facebook. And mainly that is a little bit less than 30 minutes if it's an ordinary post, and the traffic light says you should post something. And we have articles, thank God. It's a huge company, and also other departments, like for instance school programs or health programs or something like that. They can use, we post it on YLE Uutiset also, if it's like a news kind of thing.
How else do you measure the effectiveness of those posts? Is it mostly like you have your own tool? Or?
We use Falcon Social to post, for that, which uses UTM parameters.
Right, okay.
So if that is something you guys don't know how to use, you need to Google UTM parameters, because then you really see what the effort is, and do people click, and where do they go after they click on Facebook on your links.
Right, great. So if you have any follow-up questions to this, please raise them in the Q&A. We're going to move on to the next question, which is, are YLE journalists using social media more to get information or to tell about stories?
The keyword is more, yes, more and more. The old days when I came, it was like Twitter and your own bubble on Facebook, what your friends said. But now when we have the tools, also EzyInsights, where I have teach a lot of journalists to make their own filters, or if something is trending like Greta Thunberg or Brexit, you can make your own filters the way you like, and have a look at them through EzyInsights. And I think Easy is really, really good. On Twitter, we use a whole different
What do you use on Twitter?
In Finland, we have something, you laugh when I say it, if you know a little bit Finnish, it's pinnala.pyppe.fi. It only analyzes Finnish, like the IP address. from Finland, tweets from Finland.
Oh, quite cool.
So we can like filter off the rest of the world.
Yeah.
And through that we see what is trending that we didn't know that we should follow, and also which links are most shared, and what is retweeted the most, and which hashtags. So I recommend that.
Yeah, that's great. Is that a free tool?
It's free. It's a free tool. It's a guy called Pyry Lahti who has coded it for us several years ago, and he's very known for statistics. There are two guys really in Finland who do this coding with the social media, Harto Pönkä and Pyry Lahti. So
yeah, because Twitter has been coming up lately among our customers since the summer, because CrowdTangled has discontinued Twitter, and Twitter they've been kind of cracking down on the amount of data they provide for free, and the data that is not for free they charge a lot of money for it. So that hampers certain third-party tools' abilities to track Twitter, but then at the same time there are a lot of free solutions that are quite good for tracking.
There are just too many. You don't know what you can trust and where you should. I don't like to log in. So pinnalla.pyppi.fi you can log in. You don't have to log in, but you can also get your own metrics from there.
Yeah. Let me see if I can spell that actually, just out of curiosity.
Pinnalla.
Pyppe.fi. All right. Okay.
So what it says is just now.
So these are the top 5 hashtags.
Yes, in 5 hours. So we have this huge mall coming up here near Pasila, Tripla. And you see how small Twitter is in Finland. There's 53 people using the hashtag Tripla. So this is also a reminder to all the journalists who thinks that everything happens on Twitter, that the big audience is not on Twitter.
Yeah.
That's why we also have a bot putting out our news on YLE. Uutiset.
So these posts.
Yes, it's in-house made at YLE News Lab, and they have through our API made something. It's incredible. I just help them with this is a developer account. You have to apply for it, and then they put some codes in somewhere, and we don't have to post anything here.
So as soon as you publish an article in your content management system, a tweet goes out.
Yes, in 2 minutes.
Yeah. And you don't need to do you need to pre-put the text?
No, it's the headline.
It's the headline.
Yeah.
Great.
But sometimes, the article changes, then we can go and debug it on Twitter later. But the tweet text is always the same. So that's a little bit of a problem. It can change a text, of course, what you have written. If for breaking news, it's a little bit, hard because we have all
developing story.
Developing story. We have a lot of them that we can change this topic like 10 times. So it's like, do I have to debug it again? But yes.
Yeah. Well, that's a very cool tool. Thanks for sharing it.
You're welcome.
I don't know if other countries have it. I mean, I typically, when people ask to follow Twitter, I typically send them to TweetDeck.
Yes, we use TweetDeck a lot too, because you need to know what you want to follow. But this is, if you don't know what's going on, there can be a hashtag you didn't know about. And when you click it, you see who's tweeting on it, and probably you get a link to the story. So this is how journalists also can use it, because you don't know who to follow, and on Twitter you of course can do lists or follow users without following. So because we have to be political correct in at YLE, we can't like follow just one party or something like that. So we use TweetDeck a lot.
Yeah, and actually now that we're talking about tool, I wanted to ask, do you use later.com for Instagram? Because that's something I heard one of our other broadcaster in another country, they use that to schedule Instagram posts.
We can do that on Falcon.
Falcon, of course.
Yes, and we used to use Later. It was Taylor Latergram few years ago, and
Yeah.
and I follow later because they have good newsletters. They have
nice.
good tips on what to do on Instagram if you
That's
are
great. Yeah.
interested in getting that like once a day or something like that. But there are really good tips, and also they know the news about what's going on Instagram, because it's really hard to get them from Facebook, even if we are a media partner on at YLE, because there is so much going on.
Yes, Facebook changes things all the time.
Yeah, yeah.
We know it firsthand.
Yes, yes.
All right. So if there are more questions around that, please feel free to ask. We'll move on to, I think, one of our last questions that were asked in advance. There'll be time for Q&A. What are proven methods to increase Facebook newsfeed engagement and reach in order to get more link clicks to the website content?
Well, proven method is to be consistent, to really have people doing it, not doing it sometimes or when I remember, or just with the left hand, or writing posts like read the article and you will be wiser. No, you should, for instance, the first thing is you should have good articles, you know, good pictures, good, if we talk about articles like a news broadcaster like we do, but I think there are other in the audience, session, of course, who can't relate, but you always have to, like on Instagram, on Facebook too, we post texts that we don't hide the beef, you know, really why you should read the article. We tell it, and the more you tell, you have a good picture, you have a good headline, you have a good post text, then people feel like they're not trying to have me click, you know, in vain. So we get clicks.
Nice.
A lot. But we really post 250 articles a week. That's something that is really, really hard to do if you don't have people just doing that.
Yeah, but do you think if your volumes are smaller, but you're still consistent and you have the persona that you're targeting, and you have, like you said, like a headline and a nice visuals to go with it, like would that still be workable for it, like to help you to reach, of course, engagement?
You should use the different tools that you have on Facebook, like going live, having watch parties, going premiere, different things. And we have, of course, pages who posts like 8 times a week, and they're huge. I can mention one, YLE Kioski, YLX. And they are our youth channels. They do really, really good videos, and they reach the right audience, because it's so heavy what they do for young kids. They are on the pulse, and they're like 8 to 10 posts a week, and they really, really reach. But they don't have any link clicks, because they don't have any pages. They just do social media.
Right. Yeah. Do you think those are mutually exclusive then, for you to have, you know, a very popular, engaging Facebook page and for you to drive clicks? Are those, can you do both on the same page?
Well, it's really hard because we have that mass. We would like to be more interactive with our customers on Facebook, to just give answers to questions and things like that. But we really just scroll down and try to keep away the worst you know, comments, because people can be really, really angry sometimes, and we need to find them, and we never come to that, well, now I could have a discussion. Kioski, when they share a video, the journalist in the video, or the maker of it, really sits there. If it's 9 o'clock in the evening, Emma, or who is acting on the video, is really commenting and thanking for comments, and they get viral, so people tag each other. People don't write. If you have a younger audience that you want to reach on Facebook, you need to really have them to just share or tag people, because younger people don't discuss anymore on Facebook.
How do you encourage though that? Because I know that some viral publishers, when they try to do that, when they try to actively say, okay, tag a friend if you know what I mean.
Yeah, but you shouldn't do that. You should earn it with your
With the
content. Yes.
Right. Yeah.
So on Instagram, for instance, when we put the post, we have the news and we have the good picture in feed posts. But then we have these social media editors who are named on YLE Uutiset. Julia or Emma can go and say, what do you think about this? And it's in the comment section. And that works quite well. We depending of course of the topics.
Okay, let me just open your page again.
Yeah.
The news page. So where did you say you
that was in Instagram.
Sorry,
on
that was Instagram.
We can't put names on Facebook because it's too huge. So you can see Emma is not like yet operating there, but you can see the persons who are like officially doing this, and they really are there for you. They're not getting huge amount of followers, but they go by their own face, and this is a true account. It's not a fake account.
Yeah, and they have that. This is the influencer way to share pictures with those cropped images. So that's this person is social heavy, savvy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they want to, of course, we really like to take level next step on Instagram, because we have noticed that our competitors they have been watching what we've been doing. So we have I don't want to give names, but the big news media in Finland, and they copy a lot of our ways of doing.
But isn't that flattering? They say that the most sincere form of flattery is imitation. So
it is, and probably they use some kind of metrics to use it. I can mention now when we're talking about Instagram and how we got biggest and how we know that we are the biggest news media on Instagram. We use CrowdTangle, and there is a really easy statistics on intelligence where you can see the lines going up or down, amount of posting followers and interaction rate. In a certain period, so that is something that I think the other ones are using too.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah,
and of course EzyInsights, because nowadays Instagram is trending beside Facebook, even if Facebook is so much bigger.
Yeah, but it's been growing massively for all the publishers.
Yeah. But it's getting also the audience is getting older on Instagram.
Yeah. Oh, on Facebook as well.
Yeah, a little bit, but it hasn't decreased. It is the same amount of users.
Okay.
So it's not going that way down. They use it for marketplace, the younger, and they scroll the feed. And they watch with videos.
Yeah.
And of course we have accounts on YouTube too, but not Uutiset, because we should have someone hosting it and doing it again a completely different way.
Right. Yeah, that's a huge.
So we don't have that possibility, because it would have another department doing that, or team.
Yeah. No, I think it's great that you have a tool that like CrowdTangle, that you can track Instagram. We don't track Instagram in our intelligence. We only track Facebook pages. And it's always, when I talk with customers, it always feels in the beginning like, oh, it's awkward to mention the who of EzyInsights. But really, I think a lot of our customers, some of our best customers, use both. And plus other tools. I think your example is great. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I mean, it's a free solution. You're using it already. Like, there's we're not actually competing with that.
No, but they're so different. It's for different purposes. But I must say, even though I work as a YLE, I must say EzyInsights has been one of my best friends for many, many years.
Oh, thank you. We're really flattered. Okay, we have actually, look, we now addressed one of our last questions, and we are going to start with the Q&A, and we got the first questions. Is it good to use posts without links in between your linked articles, or is it better to only post linked articles or only post without links?
I guess this is about Facebook. What do you think?
I think so, because yeah,
we have a 99 or 99.9% links on Facebook.
Yeah.
We have rarely nothing else. Sometimes we don't anymore make news videos for Facebook, though we should. But that's also a resource, and you know, we don't have that team anymore doing it, and the social editors don't have the time. So what we're doing right now is only links.
Only links.
And sometimes you know, the main photo, and sometimes a video from another organization, but it has to be relevant for like news page.
Do you see an impact, like if you share a different content type than a link, do you see an impact in your statistics like that? Or like if you
post, it helps. No, not really. It's all about content. It's all about good articles or good videos. That's our on this site. We have other experiences on other sites. I had this morning show, Ylen Aamu, where they post almost every morning a picture of where they have the crew and saying good morning on Facebook, which is, I can't stand it, but they get a lot of reactions. But that's, I think that's the really, really loyal customers who are waiting for the picture, who's at work today, and the morning starts well. So we're looking at what we can do better on Facebook. But those pictures often have quite a lot for that page. A good reach. For that audience. That's only a picture.
Right. Yeah.
So, but it's all about the content, that you have a very good picture or carousel or a video that is timeless, going viral. There should be the beef in the first 3 seconds. And nowadays, when they like to measure up to 10 seconds watch on a creator studio, which is really good, because then it gives some kind of value if they continued from the 3 second, which is, you know, the metrics where they start to count reach on Facebook. So if you watch 10 seconds, then it's quite good, and if you stay longer, then it's very good. So you shouldn't like wait if you do videos that you have the beef. You know, wait
until the end.
Yes, wait until the end and keep on watching. You should really have a lot of beefs so that you get hooked. But there's no one right thing. But the only thing I can be sure of is that good content is good content.
What if this question is like, it could also be applied to Instagram. So how would you answer this question for Instagram? Because you can include links.
On stories, we can include links. We have noticed that, of course, if you have like a 3 or 5 frames story, usually the first one gets best reach, of course, because people always there's someone who is in a hurry or quits. So we can put a link in the first of these 5 and in the last.
Right. Yeah.
But not every time. And everything, if you have an engagement thing here, like I said, it can be only Instagram, and it doesn't have any news articles to refer to. It's just like we have managed to do it in that way, that it's more Instagram and more for the 20 plus audience.
Yeah.
It's bubbling under, but it's no article really. And sometimes it's good we have just a picture, and that can be a news, and we don't have an article to that. Something has happened, you know, a white elephant or something, then we can put it on Instagram, but not always we have an article to that.
Right. Yeah.
If you don't know anything more about that, there's an elephant that is white.
Yeah. Thank you. Thanks for that answer. We are nearing the end of our webinar, so I'm going to launch a quick poll to get some feedback from you guys. And in the meantime, I actually wanted to ask, because you are, you know so much about social media, and I think a lot of it, of course, comes from the experience. Can you share some tips? Where are you getting how do you update your knowledge on all these platforms? How do you keep up with all the changes and all the cool features that are coming, or all the cool news?
Well, I also like to use social media. So I have now practiced Reddit like a half a year, and I forced myself to look up on Reddit news articles. I forced myself to read Facebook newsletters and blogs. I try to keep ahead of that because a lot of our stuff that we use, like WhatsApp, Messenger, Facebook, Instagram, is Facebook products. I subscribe to newsletters. I try to look up things and subscribe from LinkedIn. I talk to my colleagues. We have a good relation with all the social media editors or managers or whatever on YLE. We have hangouts with them, chat rooms.
That you regularly kind of update each other.
Yes, and like whatever question you have, you have new beginners, you have pros, and there's always someone who can help you, or you could just give a tip. Did you know this is happening, or something like that?
Yeah. Let me just check if there's any more questions. Last chance for people to ask.
Yes, please ask. I love your questions.
Yeah. So it seems like people did learn something new. That's great.
Good to hear.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you for sharing so much information. Do you work with other platforms closely? Other, like the three that we mentioned today? Are those basically the bread and butter?
No, I try to broaden it. We have Discord, we have Twitch. I must know a little bit what it is, because a lot of audience that we should reach out to are just there. And Yodel is one that I use weekly. And then, of course, 1 year ago in December, I was like, what could YLE do on TikTok? Because I heard so many signals that it's huge. And we didn't start any own account there, but we are using influencers on TikTok to some kind of, to do valuable things for really young, because the people mainly in Finland using it are from 6 years to 15. Right. And there's a huge responsibility what you do for them, and we don't do any marketing, so it's quite hard.
Yeah.
But yes, Reddit, didn't I mention that?
Yeah.
And I don't know, my time is up, every day I just, nowadays I open Instagram first in the morning and last in the evening, so I have a little bit switch from Facebook to Instagram myself. And Twitter I forget.
Yeah.
If I'm on vacation, don't ping me, because it can take 5 weeks and I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, cool.
But LinkedIn is growing. I try to coach my journalists to use LinkedIn. It's really a social media these days, and there's a lot of good learning and like not only like having the best contacts, but you can follow up so much there.
Yeah, that's really interesting, because I would have thought that LinkedIn might be good for like business news, because that
it's a little, but it's also about working like societies and learning social media a lot.
Yeah,
technology.
Yeah. So what would you say, like if someone was starting to work with was starting a new job in social media, what would be the key competences that this person needs to succeed in that role?
These days they usually start working with buying ads. But I think you should know how to do organic content, because if you don't know what people like to consume without being forced on ads,
right,
then you don't know how to do ads. So maybe, because I don't know how to buy ads. Right. I have bought 3 ads on Facebook with my Stockman card in the beginning of my career to the Uutiset, and I told the guys, my bosses, we don't do this. Yes, we must try it. I said, no, we can do this without any money. Right. So Yle Uutiset on Facebook also, we haven't bought anything in, I think it's 5 years.
Wow. No.
4 years.
Yeah.
and we won't.
Yeah.
It's a completely ads free.
Yeah.
So that is one thing to know the platforms like natively and without looking at just commercials and how they are, what you can do with commercials. Just look at what you can do organically, because if you don't have any organic life on social media, then it's pointless, I think, to buy.
Yeah. Who do you look up to on social media? Which brands or individuals do you consider your coaches?
I have a colleague in Finland, Anu Laitila, if I can name drop someone. We coached each other. We went to this CMADFI, this community manager appreciation day in Lahti, like 5 years ago in, I think it was January. And we were sitting there with marketing people and internal communication persons, and we were like talking so high level. So after that we have sessions with Anu. I need a personal person. Of course I follow brands and people writing blogs but I can't name drop anyone because there are so many, but Anu is my guru. So I think it's important to have a colleague that you are on the same level with.
Yeah.
It's not always your own team or your boss.
That's very valuable piece of advice and information. So we're almost running out of time. Do you have any last remarks that you want to share? Closing words for this webinar?
Be safe out there. Use the two-factor authentication. That's something I've been talking about a lot, because on my token I have like 99 accounts on Facebook. So I have started to be really, really careful. It's like a year ago when I stepped further on. So I have authentications on every site that is possible.
That's great
That's
advice.
my last tip.
Okay, that's perfect. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you also to our attendees who joined us. We will send the recording to you and all the registrants, and hope to have another webinar and see you on the interwebs.
And please take contact if you want to know something more. I'm always there on LinkedIn or Twitter. Twitter is terrible to talk because everyone can read, but on LinkedIn, personal messages or like that, you just say where you heard from me. If I don't remember your name, we can communicate that way.
All right, great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks.